And here's a video for part 2 of the project. This is where we're going to analyze our data, also known as data analysis. So if I'm going to move over to my Buchtel area, in the previous section, I showed you how to do the total area and the football field. And as I hover over it, you can see where the lines change. So I'm just going to show you what the data I want you to use. So we've got acreage and we've got miles. We're going to keep this in acres. But we need to change all of our miles to feet because some of these units that you'll probably see with the parking lots, it's given in feet. So we have for the total area 0.804 miles. So the data that I want you to keep is in this chart. So the perimeter in feet and the total booked land. So I said it was 0.804. My acreage is 22.4, so I'm going to put in here, yours is going to be similar, but you might not have the same number. So how do I put in my perimeter in feet? Again, my perimeter is 0.804. I've given you a conversion to how to convert miles to feet. So we're going to multiply our miles, 0.804. You multiply it by 5,280. That's the conversion for miles to feet. So you can take your 0.804, multiply it by 5,280. You can also use Google, and I just Googled miles to feet conversion, and you can put in I put in my 0.804, and it gives me how many feet that is. So you can use the conversion, you can use your calculator, or you can even just Google miles to feet conversion. So if I have 0.804 miles, which that's what I have, in feet, my perimeter is 4245.12. So I come here, it's 4,000. So I put in my perimeter for my total land. So you're going to fill this whole thing out. Make sure that you're in feet. If you want to use the converter, you can. If you want to use your calculator, you can. So what you're going to do is add up all these buildings. And because we're using an estimate, I want you to figure out the grass space. Now that includes, like I said, there's some houses in the top left, there's some driveways. We're not going to use that. We're just going to pretend it's grass space. So if I don't have a way on my map to really kind of measure all of this space in here, we're going to add up all these figures in here and subtract from the total. So we have a total area, and it's almost like if you would cut out all of these shapes that you've created, and then you want to know how much grass space, you're going to subtract from all those spaces. So what I've showed you in here is add up these buildings, the 3 school buildings, the 2 parking lots, add all those up and subtract from your total. So you add these up and subtract from the total, and that will give you your total perimeter of all your, if you walked around all of those shapes you created, that would be your perimeter. You also are going to add up all your acreage, your total acreage. Then I want you to find the percent of the total. And what does that mean? So let's go over and find the football field. So 2.84 acres. If my football field one is 2.84, yours is going to be different. To find the percent of the total, I'm going to take the 2.84 and divide it by this number here. And that will give me my percent, or that'll actually give me, yeah, the decimal and the percent. You also need to tell me the area in a fraction form. So we've done some work already with percents and fractions. So again, I would take my 2.84 acres. So actually, I know my total acres. Does it work in here if I put an equal sign? I wonder. Nope, it doesn't. So you're going to do 2.84 divided by 22.4. I'm going to use my cell phone calculator and say 2.84 divided by 22.4, and I get 0.126. And what percent is that? So you're going to have to tell me. We've got a fraction and we've got a decimal, and you need to tell me what percent it is. So you can leave it in this form if you're a decimal, That would be your fraction. You need to figure out the decimal and the percent. So then when you're done with filling out that form, you've got some data analysis to do with the data from your chart. So which length is longer, the perimeter of both football fields or the perimeter of the school buildings? You're going to have to add some things together. Then you need to tell me what is the ratio of the perimeter of both football fields to the perimeter of the school buildings. How did you find your percentages in the main document, and how did you determine your fractions? Is there more grass space than school buildings? Show how you know this and use data. I need to see the data. Which is greater, football field 1 or the parking lots combined? Show your data. And what fraction of the total area are the parking lots? What is the fraction? What fraction of the total area is this school building? So once you're done with this, you can share it with me and you can get this submitted. If you have questions, I will be in class to answer any questions.